Boom. We live.
Holy shit, we're actually live this time.
We're actually live this time. Can you believe it? We made it. Sorry about ditching you guys. You know, I was out doing some really important things. I was battling Bakugan, and I had some intense shit going on.
You had to find the last Dragon Ball.
Well, I was on the last level of this ThinkPad game, and I just couldn't walk away from it. Fisher Price puts out some good shit, man. I'm moving on to the Lily Pad next.
Fisher Price.
The graphics on the Lily Pad are underappreciated. Just gonna say that right now.
You can run Doom on that shit. It's great.
Dude.
You can run Doom on anything. That's much of an accomplishment.
You can run Doom on a pregnancy test.
I'm working on a video right now that is going to test the bounds.
Moo indeed.
I'm working right now on a video that's going to test the bounds of what modern YouTube will allow you to do with swearing in a video.
Oh no! Oh no!
We'll see. I'll also do a follow-up on how they demonetized the fuck out of the video and what they had to say about it.
Chadwick, I'm deadly fucking curious now. What
well,
as a
the premise
of slurs, you have piqued my curiosity.
The premise of the video is about how the PlayStation 2 just gets overlooked nowadays. Like, it's not trendy to flex about the PlayStation 2, and people are all over the fucking GameCube's dick like it's just this badass machine. But like, numbers don't lie. And the PlayStation 2 is the greatest selling console of all time. And I think that that's for a very, very good reason. Many good reasons, actually. And it's just like, nobody talks about it. People won't shut the fuck up about Nintendo products. But like, nobody talks anything about the PlayStation 2. Ever.
Oh, yeah, PlayStation 2 was full of bangers.
It was a powerhouse. It was absurd.
What set this off for me is I heard this motherfucker that I like. I'm not calling out any names or anything. He puts out really good shit. But like, there was a moment where he was like, and the GameCube controller, the greatest controller of all time, I'd almost wrecked my car. I was like...
But where is the DualShock in this list? Where is the DualShock? Should be in this list somewhere.
It should be number one.
It is better than the N64 controller, but best controller of all time, I wouldn't say.
That's not difficult. The N64 controller is ass, and you know it.
It's not difficult,
it's
but
that
still.
one with stick in the middle, isn't it? Oh, fucking hell.
It's bad.
The PS1 controller, before it had both of the sticks, it was kind of shit. As soon as it got the two sticks, best controller. Period.
People view this shit through
Jerry.
People view this shit through the lens of like. People view this shit through the lens of like where we're at now in time, and then they look back on these things and they're like, "Oh, this was great. This was the GameCube was such a catastrophic failure that Nintendo had to flip the table and come out with the Wii to save themselves." That's how bad the GameCube was. I got the GameCube 2 years after it was launched for Christmas because it was only $99. It was $99 with Ocarina of Time for free and a Wind Waker demo.
Excuse the fuck out of me?
It was $99.
That is dirt cheap compared to
the PlayStation 2 was still like $180 or something at that point in time. So I mean, for me, I have a really big place in my heart for the GameCube, for Nintendo as a whole, because of how that fundamentally shaped my gaming experience when I was growing up, just in a lot of ways, me as a person. But like, the idea that it is like this unbelievable god of a gaming system that was unstoppable, it's like, no.
It was very much stoppable.
It was very much... You were considered a fucking juvenile if you were playing a GameCube. When I was growing up, being like 10 and 11 was really not cool. You wanted to be like the teenagers on MTV. You wanted to be able to do you wanted to be seen as like a fucking cool teenager type person, even if you were a kid. It was never cool to be a kid when I was growing up.
I had a similar sort of experience when I got a PlayStation 2. is that by the time I got a PlayStation 2, people were starting to move over onto like your PS3s, your Xbox 360s. I was still playing the PS2 for long after they came out. I got my Xbox 360 way late into their life cycle, to the point where my first Xbox 360 was the fucking elite version that had none of the issues. So I just enjoyed
lucky
that
you,
thing.
you know.
No red rings, no nothing. I just enjoyed it.
I have an Xbox 360 arcade right over here in this Xbox bag that I can fire up right now. It works. It's never been opened, it's never been repaired, and I do not plan on playing it for another 5 minutes. All I will ever do is go, look, it turns on.
As I said, like it just made me appreciate my consoles a bit more instead of just like new console every time. No, I had to enjoy my consoles, let them make them last.
I got a 360 in 2000 and what was it, 2006? I mean, they had been out for a little bit, but I got lucky and my aunt got me one as like a present for like doing well in school or something like that. The 1 year that happened out of my bipolar high school experience.
My parents got me my 360. I think it was for Christmas, but it was quite late in the thing. It was in here, but I was so happy to get it. I was fucking bouncing and grooving.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah, I remember.
But my PS2 still hung around for a while.
Yeah. I remember I got my PS3 and my Xbox 360 3 Christmases apart. Like the PS3 I got in the Christmas of 2008, and I remember I got BioShock and Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga on there. And then for the 360, I got the Gears of War 3 edition, the Xbox 360 Slim, and that
red one.
The red one. That made a little noise when you hit the button when you hit the disc tray.
Yeah.
And I got Left 4 Dead 2 and Battlefield 3 on that one.
Dude. Call of Duty 3 was so good. That was one of the early Xbox 360 games that I played. That's when I'm going to make the follow-up video. The titles of these videos are going to be, the first one is Why I Fuck with the PlayStation 2. And the second one is going to be Why I Fuck with the Xbox 360. Because I feel like those are the two consoles that have done the most that people try to act like are irrelevant and never did anything badass. Like,
The 360 was a workhorse. The PS2 as well. Like,
dude.
It was just workhorse.
What was online gaming? Online gaming was PC exclusively. Really. I mean, there were things that were online that people played. SOCOM, the Navy SEAL game on PS2, and like Phantasy Star and a few things. But primarily, online gaming was a PC thing. Yeah. Until Halo. Right?
True.
But Halo didn't really kick off until the 360 is when it just went fucking crazy. And the same can be said for Call of Duty. Once Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, oh shit. It went fucking crazy.
Yeah, even though I never had a 360, I still respect the fuck out of what it, all the shit that it did, all the shit that happened on that platform. It's like PS3 was great, but in terms of the amount of shit that you could do with it versus an Xbox 360, I think 360 had the upper hand with that, definitely.
Yeah, and it was just it was the better system, like.
Yeah. But there were people that tried to act like it wasn't.
Well, it was technically.
Better system in what sense? Because I had that discussion a couple days ago actually with a friend of mine, where it's like, the Xbox 360 in terms of hardware, like let's take GTA 5 for example. Xbox 360, it ran smoother, but it was also like, okay, a little bit less rendering distance. Some of the details were like less good. Some of the, maybe less character models that were in the world, all that shit. Whereas the PS3 was like very rough, but once they knew how to handle the PS3, they could take so much more out of the PS3 versus the Xbox. I feel like technology-wise, PS3 is up, like way up there.
Yeah.
But Xbox 360 was easier to handle.
Well,
Sony is
I
piece
feel
of shit
like
to
it's kind of like this. The Xbox 360 fucked up because they hired cheap overseas manufacturing, like not even the legitimate overseas manufacturing, but like the bottom of the barrel manufacturing when they first
not
produced
even
it.
like Korea, but just like Vietnam or some shit.
Or even worse, just like fucking places that aren't known.
Cambodian and shipping it.
So yeah, and
It's a holiday in
no
Cambodia.
offense to them. Those people are hardworking, good people, but there's something to be said for the fact that like I never heard of Skyrim frying a fucking Xbox. I've experienced shit where like my PS3's pixels will just start like fucking up and there'll be lines through the goddamn shit. That's never happened on any of my Xboxes. It's always been hardware failure in a sense of like the disc tray on the OG Xbox is notorious for fucking up. The fans on the 360s, especially the original ones, are just like jet engines, it's shit like that with the Xbox that happens. The fucking batteries in the controllers, and the battery pack and stuff like, I mean, it has its faults. There's no doubt about it. But when it comes to like, if the disc is readable, I mean, I've never had a disc drive fail. I've never had any problems playing the games that came out for that system well. Up until Cyberpunk, I would argue almost every game that came out on the Xbox 360 played decently well enough to where you could really enjoy it. The PS3, I've had it have issues with reading Blu-ray discs. They were notoriously bad for like if you had the fucking blue bottom discs and shit like that, then they would have issues, right?
Yeah, I remember.
And it's
I don't know. The PS3 just had so many issues, but they ironed out a few of them for the PS4.
Hey, and this is coming from me. I've got in this room each model of the PS3, all of the different variations of it. I'm a fan of the console. In fact, as a modded console, I would rather have a modded PS3 over a modded Xbox any day.
No.
But it's just a normal... I mean, but the Xbox did some funky shit, like all the different variations of storage on the system. Like, why would you... In 2013, they put out one, or 14, they put out one that only had 16 gigabytes of storage. What the fuck? You can't even put Grand Theft Auto on that. And that's when they were, like, selling it side by side with the Xbox One. So they had a lot of fucking digital download shit going on. And it's like, for a fact a motherfucker can't even hardly save their fucking game on that shit. What are you doing?
It's actually the same as the Switch these days, because a lot of the early Switches didn't even have that much in the way of storage.
Yeah.
They were terrible for storage.
But you can use an SD card, which is amazing. The SD card saves its ass.
I've got myself a memory card. It's like 128 gigs. But why do I have to buy an accessory to make my console usable?
Look, at least that's a possibility with like cell phones. They've completely fucked all that. Samsung and Apple are both in cahoots, like, because they want to put the bigger price tag on the core memory, like the shit that's in the fucking unit. They don't want you to be able to expand the fucking memory. And also with video games, I've noticed it the most. If there's a USB port or there's an SD card holder, they will hack that motherfucker. Without a doubt, it will be hacked. If you've got a port, it's getting violated.
Exactly.
Let's no console go unmolested.
Yeah, but I really think that that's what they're doing with phones. They want to keep... I've got one fucking port on this phone. And with that, I can control it. I can put it into a controller. Or I can use a fucking, C drive to USB port like this, and that's how I put my ROMs and shit on it instead of like downloading them off the internet and stuff. But yeah, dude, like if they really wanted to make that shit accessible, then they would do that shit. They would have 3 or 4 ports on it, but they don't want people to be able to fucking crack their shit and do what they want to outside of what they allow you to do with your phone. That's one of the reasons I hate fucking iPhones, dude. They act like you're only allowed to do this with what you bought from us. Like, no, man.
Well, speaking of ports, let me tell you something that pissed me off recently. Resident Evil 4 remake, right? I read an article saying that they're on the last legs of development. You know, they're just finishing up now. It's going to come out in March. But what pissed me off about reading the land of that article, it said it'll be coming out for PS4, PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X. And I'm like, you release it on PS4, but you won't put it on the Xbox One. Where's the fucking consistency there? Why is one previous gen fine, but the Xbox One is just not?
Here's what that's about, okay? So, data is what drives these decisions at a corporate level, right? So, the sales of Xbox Series X, you know, are doing pretty good, but it's readily available in stores. So if you look at the difference between the sales of the Xbox Series X and the PS5, they want to be able to absolutely fucking devastate PS5 on the grounds that they haven't been able to get to their consumers enough. So they're going to push these games as Xbox Series X only to push people to buy that system, because it's not hard to find a Series X. They've done a pretty good job making it available to people, whereas PS5 has struggled on that. Now, if PlayStation decided they were going to only release that on PS5, they would be fucking people who have they want a PS5, they just can't buy one. They're not available. If I remember
correctly, that was the original plan, was to have it be a PS5 exclusive.
Yeah.
I think that was the original plan. But then they just went, wait a minute, no one actually owns these consoles.
Yeah, they can't. Which sucks because, you know, Nate, most of my best friends have went to the side of PS5 and have a willingness and really good jobs to buy these games, and their stack of games is like this. They've got like 5 of them. And
I have a PS5 myself. I prayed to some deity to get one, and as a result I do have one, but that's the problem, is that it does have shit for games.
So
Demon's Souls and Horizon, and that's it.
I don't even like Horizon, so like
Horizon sucks.
Well, dude, Miles Morales was supposed to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive originally. So was the Gollum, I think, was supposed to be like one of the PS5 only games, and it came out for all these things are getting slated to come out for PlayStation 4, because how long was it? I mean, over a year after the system launched, people could not touch them. You just couldn't get them anywhere. So yeah, that's the reason why Xbox successfully launched its console and got it out there to consumers, and they're wanting to make sure that you buy one of these to play next generation games. And it's also a risk for PlayStation, because a lot of these games that are coming out, if you've got a base model PlayStation 4, it's not going to be able to play these games.
Oh yeah.
You need a PlayStation 4 Pro. You know, it's going to struggle. So they're really you know how Nintendo has been notorious up until the Switch. This is when they really fucked up. But they've been notorious about like every game that comes out on this console is going to be running like really good on it. Like you could almost rest assured up until the Switch, every game you put into a Nintendo machine was going to be on it. And the Switch, how many games? They opened it up to third-party developers, and I can name a fucking handful of games that run like shit on the Switch.
Well, that's the problem, is that Nintendo is very good at making first-party games.
Without a doubt. That's the reason to own their shit. Otherwise...
And that's it. Any third-party games.
Yeah.
People just don't know what to do with the hardware. So the games just run like shit.
Well, they've always been the one to kneecap developers, you know, with like the mini discs and fucking staying on cartridges for so long. And
I don't know. Nintendo are just... They're so bad. They're a toy company that makes games.
Hey,
that's it.
They've made some of the greatest games to ever exist, though.
Yeah, but that's the problem, is that they've got the wrong attitude about it.
Oh yeah.
They wanted to make these games fast. Get them in.
I would also argue that that's what makes them such a powerhouse, is because they're so different. You know, like they're doing the same thing, but they're doing it way different. Like PS4,
Well, I think in the case of them being different is that they're not necessarily different in the way of good. Because they do have their good points, but they also do have their bad ones.
But for me, like as a fanboy of just the entire genre in general, like just gaming in general interests me. It makes me happy to know that there's all these different, you know, variations out there. I can always expect something different to come from that direction, you know. And for a while,
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Nintendo should be just cancelled. Get rid of Nintendo. What I'm saying is that Nintendo do have some sort of in-house problems that do.
They've got probably. I mean, they're horrible, dude. Like I think that some of the shit Nintendo does is absolutely horrible.
Well, one thing that does actually come to mind is that you remember the 35th anniversary release for Mario. It was like it was Sunshine and I can't remember exactly what.
The All Stars.
Yeah, it was the All Star pack, and it was just like it was limited run, but it was also digital.
Yeah.
How can that be limited?
Well,
it's data. You just keep selling that. It doesn't
that's
matter
the thing.
If it was a physical only and it's a limited run, I could understand. But why is it digital as well and then still a limited run?
Well, there's 7 billion people on the planet, right? Mm-hmm. So if I printed 14 billion of something and I was like, it's limited to 14 billion, it's limited technically. But the truth is, it's Nintendo. I can go and find that game for $40 because they printed so many of them. You know, I mean, I don't. If it's digital, also like you said, I mean, people have that data. Even if it was limited to one cartridge, people would rip the data and it'd be out there. Like,
this is what I'm about. It wasn't limited in the sense of that there's only so many being sold. It was limited in the sense it was only being sold from one point to another.
Mm-hmm.
Like it only had a certain amount of time before the game was just chopped off the shelves.
Right.
Yeah, but I still see it on shelves everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
I think they went back on it, but the original plan was to just make the game a limited run for a certain amount of time, and then it was gone.
They've done shit like, remember the Mario game where you could compete against a bunch of different people running the Mario levels?
Ah, yes, I know.
No, they removed that. They had that for like a year or so, and then it's gone. Like that wasn't even a physical game. You can't buy it physically. They just ended the complete service for that. Just
why?
35, wasn't it?
Dude, I'm telling you, like a lot of the owners of these properties like are gonna do that. Streaming services with TV shows and movies and shit like that, video game companies and shit, they're gonna like, here's our subscription service. We'll tell you what's on the menu. If you don't like it, too bad. It may come back into circulation when we feel like it. That'll be movies, video games.
They've already been doing that. You know, like the PlayStation Now or
I know
the Xbox Game Pass. They've already been doing that. So like,
this will turn to dust. All of these discs will, no matter what happens to them, not run anymore at some point because they're made out of fucking plastic. They're gonna fall to dust. But data, like the digital fucking fingerprints that we have of these games, will exist if not for these companies are fighting as hard as they fucking can to make it to the point where even if I rip the data from this disc and it's mine and I keep it, that's still illegal. That's what's legal now, but they don't even want that to be legal. They want that to be me reproducing something, and that's illegal, and I shouldn't be able to do it or have it. Yeah. Video game conservation is something that's like really on a razor's edge, and people don't even think about it. But like, they want your old consoles to fall apart. They don't even want you to have anything past the current generation. Like, they have no sympathy. So they fought like tooth and nail to make reproduction parts impossible to get. But again, that law is in place, you know, that you can reproduce shit after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like the game companies are just trying to take away as much as possible from the consumer. Saying like, you don't own your games. You're just getting the licenses to play them.
Exactly.
They're not yours.
Apparently emulators are getting some fucking rough shit as well, because I just read recently that that fucking PS2 emulator for Android, Aethers SX2, the guy was getting death threats from people, and he said he's not going to do any more development on it.
Oh, well, good, because it's perfect. Just ignore them. It's perfect already. It plays everything, so who cares?
Just fucking, yeah, it's already a finished product. It works amazingly well. Who gives a fuck about random people on the air? Just, what was that Tyler, the Creator quote? Ha 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 ha, how the fuck is cyberbullying real? Just close the screen, close your eyes, press the X button.
Yeah.
Just switch off your monitor, done.
Yeah.
Go read a book. The book can't bully you.
Like, not to
or maybe it can.
Not to talk good about people sending death threats, because that is fucking stupid and idiotic, and you're a dumbass if you do it.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, you have no life.
Yeah.
But you can also, like, just ignore it and just continue doing what you do.
Yeah.
It's...
No, don't get me wrong. There are certain things you can't ignore. You know, like people constantly, every 10 seconds, someone's sending you a message telling you you're trash, you kill yourself, you're all this thing. But what I'm saying is that a lot of the things that people say as cyberbullying is often very easily ignored.
Well, yeah, but...
I think that's what you're saying, Nino, is that
well,
the usual kind of stuff you get is actually quite easily ignored.
Yes, but also, like someone sending me a picture of my own house. That
cannot be ignored.
That is a threat. Then it's like, okay, you mean business. But anyone saying whatever on the internet, whether it be the most disgusting shit that you've ever read or just ha 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 lol you're gay. It's someone trying to annoy me on the fucking internet? Great. That makes my afternoon, gives me something to do.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm pretty sure
but everybody's built different.
Before.
Yeah, no, I send that to you every day. Hey, good morning, Jake, you're gay.
You sent me that exact message before.
Yeah. But my grandfather, was an alcoholic for like 50-some years. He was quite a character, but he did teach me the lesson, of do not act like you know what it's like to be in somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying? So for us, it may be easy to be like, this guy's talking shit and whatever. But if that's reinforcing something you already have in your head, or if it's, just adding to some shit you don't need, like, that shit is never good. I know what you're saying.
I get where you're coming
but
from.
In comparison to the shit that people have to go through in real life, and actually, like, if they've got abusive parents, or they've got, actual neighborhood bullies that physically beat their ass and stuff, like, that's a little bit on a realer note.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Nino, I could hear you typing there. Did you just send me that message again?
No.
I swear, I will open my DMs, and if it's there, I'm having you. You're gone.
Yeah, well, that brings me to something that I've been thinking about for a while. I don't know if it's all right to bring on here, but there are these two guys that used to work with Chris O'Neill, Ding Dong and Julian. They were with them for a while, and the Game Grumps came up with a game called Dream Daddy, and Ding Dong and Julian both got an early build of it, and they did not like it. They felt it was pandering to the gay community, and seeing as they're both gay themselves, they were trying to think. Ding Dong was saying it wasn't worth trying to say anything about it because he felt like the game was going to lose relevancy in a couple months, and talking about it would bring relevancy. But there were people around him that he claims that were pressuring him to say stuff about it, because there were people that were like miserable working in that office, and they were also feeling hurt about it. But then when he spoke up about it, everybody that told him to do that just fucking blew him off. And then, fucking Susie and Ninja Brian from Game Grumps, they started tweeting saying that it wasn't a cash grab on there, and that Ding Dong was lying about having early access to that, and that led the rabid fan base that they have to fucking go after Ding Dong, dox him out to his own family that he was gay, which were not very supportive. And it led to this whole mountain of bullshit to them, to where recently on a stream he fucking snapped and just sort of like, he didn't reveal everything, but he brought some pretty damning evidence towards them that they could use in certain situations. And one part in there that he brought up was that he actually attempted suicide afterwards but Julian was able to stop him because, like, he said that was like the first time somebody actually genuinely cared for him in his life, and that was his wake-up call for it. And then the next day, somebody from the office, he didn't say who, was like, wouldn't it be funny if somebody did do it and just, like, let's no blaming these two people for it? And Ding Dong was furious about that. He's like, you want me to fucking do it, don't you? And it's just, like, went on this fucking tirade about it. Which, you know, that is a very disgusting move to do there. I would not blame him for being pissed off at that.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I could not blame them at all if they were very annoyed by that.
Yeah. But that just shows, like, how easily people can get fucked over in this. In fact, he was actually blacklisted in a few areas because he's dared to speak out about that for some reason. About the fucking Dream Daddy thing. Just because he said, not in a mean way, he wanted to be as cordial as possible about that shit. But they just took it in a way that completely fucked him over. And now he just has no trust of anybody, and he's trying to keep as much of a private eye as possible now.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, it's often the case as those people who tend to try to speak out against things, not necessarily even bad things, just they just want to mention things, you know, say, oh, the situation's a bit odd. They often get, you know, persecuted for no reason.
Oh my god, dude, I've got a story for y'all. I forgot about this shit. It happened a few days ago. It's not funny. I should not be laughing about this.
Oh, I'm getting ready for story time.
Laugh through the pain, Chad.
Alright, so professional wrestling is such a weird fucking thing. As you guys know, I love it. It makes me so happy, but it is fucking odd. And there's, like, always these internal politics, not just between wrestlers, but people who run these wrestling companies will smile in each other's faces and just drool at the thought of stabbing the other person in the back. Like, they're just vindictive and fucking hateful and just, like, ready to pounce on the competition like you ain't never seen. So, a wrestling promoter that unfortunately I have worked for in the past one time, and the one time I worked for this motherfucker, oh yeah, dude, I'm paying you $65, right? And I'm in a tag team, so it's $65. It's like he's paying me and my partner that much money, like each individually, which is pretty decent for 10 minutes work. So we're done with our match. It was amazing. Everybody's happy with it. I go back to the office to get my money. Man, we didn't sell enough tickets. The place was packed. Okay, so I know this is bullshit. We don't have enough money,
you were
man.
Just out there. You saw it all.
Yeah, he was like, I'll get you guys back. Blah 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 blah. The company goes under. So guess who doesn't get the money? Us, right? Well, this guy comes back around. He's doing all the right things, saying all the right shit to people. He gets this new show booked, and the bill for it's crazy. My partner's like, hey, this guy's wanting us. You know, he says he's going to make it up to us, which means we're getting paid double what we were supposed to get paid the last time. And I'm not holding my breath on that. But we're going to give him another chance. So it's like a month and a half out from this show. Thank God he hasn't advertised us being there yet. We're not on any posters or anything yet. And this motherfucker gets Chris Hansen to, like, a motherfucker. Dude, he's got, like, this creeper group from South Carolina got a decoy to get him to, like, make plans to meet up with, like, a 14-year-old girl, and, like, caught him sending all these messages about cuddling and shit, admitting to the fact that he has a 15-year-old daughter. Okay? And then, you know, the wrestling promoters that hate him and see this are just like, hear ye, all over social media. This guy's a fucking piece of shit, you know. And guess what he does? Guess what he does in his defense? To give you a hint, it's the worst excuse ever. What do you think he says happened?
I slipped and tripped onto the keyboard and accidentally sent 1,200 messages.
My kid was on the PC and was trying to meet up.
My cat was sleeping on the keyboard.
Can I take a seat now?
He says, I got hacked.
Oh,
Of course,
that's
the
the
classic.
laziest one. That's the laziest defense out there.
He says, I got hacked. And we're just like, so somebody hacked you and immediately decided the first thing that they're going to do is start a conversation with like a bot decoy over like a dating app. Like, no.
If they're gonna do anything, they would just go straight onto your social medias and just start, putting you on blast. But
No, if somebody actually,
a dating website and find a bot specifically.
A large majority of the time, the only time there's going to be any like sexual anything that happens on a hacked situation is if you get a virus on your browser or something, and then it'll just have pop-ups that go crazy. But that shit hasn't been a thing for like 15 years or something. But like
a desktop stripper.
Yeah. But like I remember you could download music from like LimeWire or whatever, and next time you surfed on the internet it would take you directly to like horrific shit. Just like, yeah, that was a bad one.
Dude, we abused the fuck out of LimeWire when it was around.
And it would give you viruses that would fuck up your web browser. I don't know.
I never got no viruses from it.
Dude, see, you're young, Thomas. You're young. By the time you got into this shit, it was about to be over with. And things had been worked out. Well, in the years of fucking, Napster and BearShare and fucking all that stuff, it was like a landmine always. And towards the end, when it actually ran really well and was a lot safer, they laid the fucking kibosh on all that shit. But yeah, dude, he claimed to have been hacked. And it's like, when people hack your shit, they send like, buy into this, or you want to be a part of this government program? It's not like, hey baby, what's going on? Like, never. I've never seen that.
Well, Chad, if you appeared on my screen and did exactly as you did, I probably would end up clicking on it again.
I would probably fall for it.
I would fall for that every time.
Local rednecks in your area.
That would actually confuse me.
And it's just like a fucking stock picture of a stripper with Chad's face glued on it.
No, it'd just be me in a straw hat with one overall unbuttoned, piece of straw hanging out of my mouth.
Your foot's resting on a hay bale.
Well, by God. Yeah. With the tagline "Yellow Bone" instead of Yellowstone.
That is too good.
Oh God.
That took me a second.
What is it? Fucking 4 viewers. You guys are welcome. Congratulations.
Because you 4 viewers, you've earned that.
Yeah.
You stuck it out for long haul.
Yeah, take that one to the bank with you.
Subscribe.
Subscribe to this hellish podcast.
One of my favorite shows is about to come back out with a new season. And I feel bad about watching it, but I can't help it. And if you guys want to see some incredibly redneck shit, 1,000 Pound Sisters, man.
Oh,
the Clayton sisters.
No. I've heard of that, yeah.
Is this
Bro.
another TLC thing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Look,
It's the thing your mom and sister are obsessed with.
dude, check it out. It's these 2 sisters, and they're from Kentucky. And when I'm talking about Kentucky, they're from the real Kentucky. Like, their family tree's genealogy might just be a stick,
I remember watching your video about it, like when you were watching, what was it, Sonic V2, I think? We were talking about it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, when you were watching that, I remember watching that about it.
Oh, well, the show's about to come out. And, they have a YouTube channel. That's how they got discovered by TLC. They have a YouTube channel. And they used to do... How fucked up is this, man? These ladies are... They called them 1,000 Pound Sisters because when the show started, combined, they were, like, over 1,000 pounds.
So 500.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, they were way over that. to the point of being immobile, and they would make videos of them just eating the most ridiculous shit. And that's how they got super popular. And I was just like, so you're telling me y'all...
Oh, you're talking about those sisters.
Yes.
The bitches that fake their own funeral for money.
Yes.
Fucking...
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Sure, bring that up.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But people don't understand that is some redneck shit. That's the kind of stuff that rednecks do. Dude, I have family members. I have one family member that went out to the mailbox and stole her son's check from his work like 3 months in a row. Would just like randomly pick a week to go out there and get one. And it was like her own son. Would go to the...
I'm not advocating this, but I can slightly understand if you were just like, oh yeah, you stole your neighbour's one.
No,
because you saw them.
no. So
no,
it's not like it's not beyond rednecks to like go and fucking and fake their death to get like GoFundMe money. Dude, it's just really not. Like, I've seen some of the most wild shit. Go and steal the neighbor's license plates from their car and put it on their own car just so they could get through a road check to like go to the store. Like, commit a felony just because it makes things more convenient.
Jokes on them, but their neighbors also got several things on them.
Yeah, but just like my uncles, there's a season for animals that you can hunt, right? And it's also there's a thing called spotlighting, where if you see a deer or certain animals, especially nocturnal ones, and you shine a super bright light on them, they'll just fucking freeze because it freaks them out.
The deer in headlights thing.
Yeah, so that's what they'll go around with, like one of those cop car fucking lights on the side of their car, and they will shoot animals out of vehicles with a light shining on them, out of season, like completely illegal in 4 different ways. I heard one time, if you're going to break a law, don't break more than one at the same time. And they would commit like 20 crimes. And then get caught and be like, why is this happening?
Why me? Why of me of all people?
Who am I?
It's just the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen, dude. It's like, and those sisters are exactly like that. Like, it's just so funny to see.
Because those sisters are Kentucky personified.
Well, one of the chicks will be like, one of them will be like, I'm making changes in my life. I'm going through this program. I'm about to fucking do all this shit. And I'm going to lose weight. And I'm going to change my life. And then it's like the next day, her sister will hear some shit. Like, what's going on over there? Because they lived in like a duplex right next to each other. So she go over and knock on the door. Here's this other one, who's making all these changes the day before and doing all this shit. Oxygen in the nose. Smoking weed, liquor bottles everywhere, like a bunch of homies sitting on the couch, just like getting fucked up to death. And she's just like, and she's just sitting there like, what? I'm living my life.
She's made some changes.
Yeah, now instead of just sitting on the couch with the weed and the liquor and the homies.
And it's not like, they make it like the title of the thing is like 1,000-pound sisters, and it's like they try to focus on the weight aspect of the situation, but that's not what it is. It's like redneck shit, dude. Yeah.
Just redneck as fuck.
Just redneck as fuck, dude. That's what they should name the show. Redneck as fuck.
Redneck as fuck.
Yeah. It's not even about their weight.
It would have to be redneck AF to market it properly.
Yeah. It's not even about their weight.
Fuck, but you just like you just change a few letters in the middle. You just put like an asterisk or something in the.
What do you think? What's more entertaining about 1,000-pound sisters, Nikki? Their weight loss journey, or just who they are as people?
Just who they are as people, for sure.
Yeah, who they are as people. She said for sure. Because they're fucking wild, dude. They're fucking wild. And like, there's all these dudes that come in like to that one chick who was partying's life, and she falls in love and is about to get married and all this shit. And it's like, anytime that she's like, yeah, I'm really gonna try, I'm gonna lose this weight, these guys are like, nah, baby, let me go buy you a bag of Jolly Ranchers. You don't need to lose that weight. They're like fetish dudes, like super.
The chubby chasers.
Yeah, but not. No, come on now. These are not chubby chasers. These are like.
These are
like beyond that. This is like beyond that.
Yeah, they have some warp. They have
That's
some warp. Yeah, exactly. Feeders. That's right. They have like a really
Why do I know
warped.
about this?
I think it's probably because of that Family Guy
Questioning my
episode where
entire life now.
it's probably because of that Family Guy episode where Lois is getting fat. It's like, come on, I want you bigger. I want you fatter. It will please me.
It will please me.
I actually got called a feeder at KFC once.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
So I'll TLDR this real quick. So I was on vacation in Australia. All the best stories happen that way.
Oh God.
Yeah. And my homie was like, hey, we're going to KFC because it's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays they have some kind of deal. It's like 9 pieces for $10 or something.
Oh shit.
Or like 24 nuggets for like a certain lowered price.
You best believe that deal don't exist in the South.
Yeah. So like every sad sack came over to KFC on that one day just to get some heinous, delicious protein, including us.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy thought it'd be a great idea to do a 100 nugget challenge,
Oh God.
or at least make me do it.
I can
And-
see where this is going.
So he walks up to the register and he's like, "Yeah, could I have 100 nuggets, please?" And you can see the cashier looking like, "How many is that?" Because she's like trying to break it down into like 24-piece boxes, right? So she figures it out, and she doesn't even like ring anything up. She just screams to the back like, "We're doing 424s!" And you can just hear the groaning coming from the kitchen. So my homie just caused a scene. Like, while we hear the grunting going on in the background, we just hear the manager from the back from his office, "We've got a feeder!"
Oh.
Food order! Food order! She's a food order!
So we just caused a complete scene there.
You just caused that entire KFC to just go up in value now. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on in here?
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
I was hungry. I needed my protein.
I'm protein blasted. You just needed it.
Oh god.
Well, actually,
And then-
speaking of deals, there's a local sort of shop near me called Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
It's big around in the UK. But anyway, but they on Tuesdays they have essentially like it's a 10% off of your entire shop, as long as you're over a certain age. And so what I essentially do is I just kidnap my parents and bring them with me, and just say, "Yeah, look, I've got old people."
There's this thing in America. I don't know if it's a
10%
thing.
off my order. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a thing in the UK, but it's like extorting old people, taking advantage of the elderly
Well, they do that
abuse.
shopping
Oh, yeah,
too.
we all
They
do
shopping
that.
at the same time.
All right. So just keep that in mind when you're sitting there getting your little fucking discount, that you might just be a goddamn deviant getting ready to get hit by the long
Oh, I'm
schlong of the
already a
law.
deviant. But, it's just a question of which ones.
All of them.
Chad gets
Question
canceled, colorized. No, that's a real story. That wrestling thing really happened, and everybody's been clowning on him. Everybody's been clowning on. And I said that we need to have, like, because for some reason, imagine this. A lot of wrestling promoters in Tennessee are fucking, and North Carolina and around the Southeast are weirdos. People who would
could've
want to
guessed?
spend thousands of dollars to get these men to come in their fucking gymnasium and wrestle might just be a little off sometimes. Imagine that. But we should start a show called To Catch a Promoter. Dude, even for
We
like,
would get a whole
Pink-
season just
Pink
going to
Lady
Nickelodeon.
Runner.
God damn it, Twitter.
yeah, going to Nickelodeon, like a lot of these music promoters and club promoters and shit, like, I don't know. There's something about the guys who are like, I have no talent, but I want all the credit.
Wasn't there a thing in the
I have no
90s?
talent, but I have access to talent.
Yeah.
So as a result, I am talented.
Right. One of the only, like, the reason why Urban Combat Wrestling is, like, where I wrestle, like, I don't always agree with these guys, but I know that from their perspective, they're telling me the truth. They think they're telling me the absolute truth from their perspective every time I speak with them. Other promoters will tell you what you want to hear just to make you happy and then fucking do whatever they want. You know, and there's a lot of shady business practices going on in that shit, but that's what I respect about you guys too, man. Like, you know, especially Thomas will just tell me how he sees it, and that's just the fucking end of it, with no subtle, no niceties about it. This is just how I see it, and I respect that.
I don't think any of us have a filter.
Yeah, well, you guys,
We
you know,
really don't. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're our filter when you're not here.
This is why
Here,
we need you here.
Jake
guys.
Nino and I just fucking go
You're
off on a lot of
filter.
shit, but when you're here, we gotta like tone it down a lot.
yeah,
Genuinely, the audience jokes about Chad getting canceled. If Chad wasn't here, we would all be canceled.
yeah.
Every stream.
Within the
without
hour.
fail.
Yeah, definitely.
Within the first 10 minutes. Are
You guys
kidding
need
me?
you guys need the one bipolar guy to be like, what the fuck?
I think you just need to be here to tell us to basically
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Dude, I have nuked so many of my friends' streams. Like, literally, I think the first... you've met Jacob, yeah, Jake? The Japanese Jacob?
Oh yes, that one.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Chad never met him.
He got me on his stream for the first time like a year ago, and literally exactly on that first stream, I had nuked it by saying the N-word.
wow.
Jesus Christ.
Like it wasn't even like a joke or anything. Like someone had given them a gift. Someone had made like their logo out of Legos and like in a frame, and I was just like really genuinely like, holy shit, but N-word.
Yeah, you
And it was
didn't.
just
You
like,
just
oh
didn't
no,
say shit.
nuke. And then
But,
he brought
like,
me
the
on later and then
context-
I did it again.
The context of somebody from America, like, that's the whole thing with PewDiePie. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't think that people understand that, you know, the differences in that word, that doesn't hold the same
Oh,
context for some, like, I don't agree with you saying that. I think you probably fucking shouldn't have said that 100%. But, like,
oh yeah.
I
no,
know
same.
people who say that, and their meaning behind it is, I believe that people who are not the same skin color as me are this or whatever, and they're fucked up for that. Like, it's a hateful fucking thing. And but, like, I don't know how many rappers
Dude, yeah.
or just like mixed people, or like people who would normally be in a lot of trouble for saying that word, have been given like a pass or something. Like, I've been around it so many times where I'll be in a room full of mixed races of people, and someone who is definitely not supposed to be saying the N-word is just right in the mix of people using it like it ain't nothing, and I'm just over here like,
Yeah.
because of my background and where I come from, and I like having members of my family that are like hardcore racist, being abused physically as a child because I had friends that were different colors, seeing real racism and shit. You're from the fucking Netherlands, where that's just not. Well, I mean, it's just like how many black people do you come in contact with?
Around this area?
Yeah.
Quite a few, actually.
Really?
Yes, actually.
Well, just know
this
that
whole area is Muslim. The city next to me is a lot of black people.
just know that, like, in my neck of the woods, even as a joke, oh, dude,
No, trust me.
you
I
would
know.
lose teeth over that, bro.
Trust me, I know. It's just like
I think I've said it before. Like, I don't use it. I don't want to use it as an excuse. But like the
We are
cultural
rats?
differences,
Oh God.
the cultural differences between us is
I mean,
like.
there's a weird pitter pattern around my house. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Could be a squirrel on your roof or something. You never know.
Probably. I don't. All I hear
It's
is
almost
like.
as being invaded.
It's like, what the fuck? Sorry for
Invaded
picking
by
up.
a
But it's
tiny
like,
little
Jesus
rat
Christ, everyone's-
commando.
Oh, you're
With
fine.
you.
No, you know, like the areas that I grew up in, like whether you were black, white, or Asian, I heard everybody saying everything.
I
Even
swear,
nowadays, with how
when
it's, like,
when I
how
was in
tolerant the
college,
world is.
there was a Korean dude who sounded like DMX when he spoke and was 5'5" and used the N word like it was nothing. And you know, nobody said shit to him about it. And the whole time I was just like, really? So it's completely 100% a white thing at this moment. But then again, I've been around other people who were like, I don't care. Like, if you're not black, you're not saying that freely, period. You know, it's just such a weird thing. But for me personally, the way that I see it, given the way that I was brought up and everything, that is just like a hell no, most disrespectful thing anybody can fucking do.
I've always seen that word as being a case of that we've given it a bit too much power.
I don't think it's up to us though.
No, but what I mean is
who are we to make that rule
is
of
that
that?
everyone always says if you say that, they say like, oh, what is the N word? Now that could be any word that starts with N, but everyone knows exactly what you're on about.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. It's kind of become like a like a Voldemort thing.
Well, here's the thing. The reason why is because people who were using that word with the most power literally owned people of color and called them that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm not.
You
I'm
know,
not saying
that's where that power comes from, though.
It's become,
that's where that power. It's like it's not some big. Well, we just decided one day that like this is the naughty word. It's like, yeah, I get where you're saying you can take the sting from it from your own perspective, but dude, you got to think about how long ago that was. The 1800s, in the grand scheme of things, not that long ago. The 1960s, the 1960s when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, not that long ago. There are people who lived through that still who walk among us, who still consume media, who still were, they were hosed down by high-powered water hoses that would peel the skin off your fucking arms and attacked by dogs because they wanted to go to school and get a good education with everybody else.
Well, I should preface, I wasn't intending to make a generalization or make any sort of thing. What I was trying to say is that the word in of itself has become somewhat of a touchy subject. It has become so hard to think. It's become so powerful in of itself that it's almost become its own thing, separate from these separate from these issues. It's become its own sort of entity.
To me, it's similar to this, right? This is the view that I get when I see people who have an opinion of the N-word that is like it shouldn't be considered this big of a deal. I compare it to this. For me, for everybody in this call, we can play Call of Duty right now and it would be no problem. Right? To us, bang bang, let's go. Whatever. But if you were to put that same game in the hands of a Battlefield veteran, a real one, then playing that game might be a whole nother experience. Right? Yeah, so if you have never experienced racism or if you've never experienced that actual reality, then it's hard for you to get why it has the power that it does. It's like if you had somebody where you're by yourself, on your own, and then you walk into a store or something, there's 3 or 4 people in there and they look at you just because you walked in there and are like, you could do nothing about us beating your ass right now because you walked through the door. It's a whole nother experience.
Actually, these days it's actually started to go a bit, you know, it has actually started. I'm not going to talk about this because this one's a very touchy subject, but things have started to move, shift over slightly, and now, you know, being white is a bit more of a problem.
Oh, dude, there's places I wouldn't go. You know, especially at night. Like, I know places.
You're seeing it everywhere
in the city.
Like white people are a problem. This is problem. This is
in the city. There are places where ambulances won't go in after dark. Like, if you get fucked up there, the only way you're getting help is if you're outside of that neighborhood, and then we'll show up there. Like, there are places.
Outside the neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, seriously. Like, no joke. Like, emergency services in certain places, they just won't go. Won't. And it's because, you know, there are some dangerous fucking areas. Like, that just is what it is. But, like, when that's the status quo, when that's normal life for everybody, the government, everybody, you know, when the cards are stacked against you in such a supreme way and have been for a long fucking time, and it's rooted in this shit that's fucking, like, completely heinous and dehumanizing, and then it's pretended like it's not, but then you live and you see it, it's like, damn, that power's still there, you know. In the deep south and in a lot of places, it's for real. Like, here's your place, you know, where even to this day, it's fucking crazy. So,
well, exactly as you described, Chad, is that these things are starting to happen, but it has now started to happen to other races than well, has started to happen to white people too now, and it is something that you can notice. I'm because we're obviously on live, and I'm not saying anything bad about anyone.
Right.
What I'm saying is that the power dynamic has shifted slightly now, and as a result, you have started to notice these things happen.
It's the natural order of things. The pendulum swings left, and then it swings right.
Yeah, as I said, I'm trying not to say anything too bad on live.
Well, no, there's no I don't think there's anything wrong with expressing, like, your personal experience. There's no opinion about things that you've actually experienced in your life.
It's not really that, because I could sit here and explain my personal experience for days.
Right, yeah.
What I'm saying is I just don't want to say anything and get everyone in trouble.
I don't think you're a hateful person. I don't think anybody on this call is a hateful person. So.
I'm the chillest person going. Nino is too. Thomas is too. Chad,
but this is just an important conversation to have. We're understanding perspectives from a global position. Like, I have a Southern, you know, upbringing. We've got
you're a Southern dandy.
Yeah, we've got a Northern guy here, a Yankee, in old Thomas Horton, and you guys are European, so, like, we all have completely different upbringings and social perspectives.
Yeah, how dare you, Chad?
How dare you? We are not the same.
Yeah.
But, like, that's kind of what I was gonna summarize this with, is, like, with the different perspectives. It's all, I think this whole thing just boils down to respect, and that's it. Like, say whatever you want, but accept the consequences of it. Like, there are consequences to it, and you're gonna have to accept that. You can't live in this fantasy world where you say whatever you want, but there's no consequences to it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, respect, just both ways.
Well,
just,
it's one of those things.
If they don't like something to be said, don't say it out of respect.
Well, the thing is, to build up on what you said, is that respect isn't given, it is earned.
Exactly.
Like, if you want someone to respect you, for example, if one of my homies said, "Oh, don't say that," I will do it instantly. But if some random fuck on the street just walked up to me and said, "You can't say that," I would be like, "Why not?"
Yeah, I will say it.
I would be like, "Why not?" because I don't know you. I have no respect for you because I don't know who you are.
That is kind of true, but like, I do mean like, have a general level of respect.
Oh yeah, I know what you're on about. I know what you're on about, Nino. I have a general level of respect, but what I'm saying is once you start getting above that general level of an expected respect, suddenly I start to question why I should be doing that.
Yeah. And I guess it's a different experience for me.
Twice as much now.
It's a different experience for me because I've seen and heard people say these things about my friends, like directly. In a harsh way. Like I've heard people, those N-words over there, and they're talking to me about my good friends, and so it's not just a word, it's like a directed, tagged to these people directly, and it's just like a really, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like a really hurtful situation because it's like not only am I hurt for like the fact that someone is saying this about them and I know how they would feel if they heard it, if they were here for this. And also it makes me embarrassed. It's embarrassing when white people do that. It's like so embarrassing.
I know exactly what about. I've encountered that myself. Like I've encountered people who are just blatantly racist.
And it's so embarrassing. It makes you ashamed of being even associated to that in any way. Oh God.
I can't believe I share a race with you.
Also, what also is infuriating is like people say that minorities can't be racist against the majority.
Oh,
everybody can be individually racist towards one person.
Oh yeah, everyone can and often are racist, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a majority or a minority.
Dude, I have seen my friends in mixed relationships get shit on from every shade of the fucking rainbow.
Oh yeah.
Like I have seen my friends in mixed relationships just get, and it all comes down to the fact that people are fucking awful. All of them,
People are
that's why it's cool to like meet good people like you guys and my other friends and stuff. It's awesome to see individuals for their individuality, and that's what George Carlin said. He enjoys a person. He can't stand people,
Oh yeah, but a person is reasonable, smart.
Yeah.
And funny and think people are stupid.
Oh. Yeah. Every single race, religion, creed has bigots, and there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. To properly quote that George Carlin thing there, I remember it was exactly from the book Brain Droppings. He's like, I love and respect individuals as they come and go. I loathe and despise the groups they're associated with.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But
no, I think we should just disband all groups.
All groups.
An army of individuals.
Except for Dutch Rudders. They should all stay connected.
Dutch Rudders should be the only existent. That's it. That's the only one. That's the only thing. We should all be under that banner.
I love how that transcends borders. We all know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm glad we had that conversation because there's a lot that we can learn from each other given our backgrounds in such a sensitive topic. But the mass media message is, be careful, don't step on eggshells. And the truth of the matter is we all have to learn from each other. We've all got to respect each other. And
the eggshells are getting even more delicate.
Dude, I'll take such a huge dump on the eggshells. And that's the thing, my friends and family of all these different, like I have Jewish family members. I have mixed family members I have so many different people in my family that just lived completely different lives. And I mean, I have new members of my family. Several of them are Hispanic. I mean, there's just even Nate, dude. People give shit to Nate because of some of his views. Do you know he has like at least 8% of his fucking DNA is from a different continent? Nate has a more mixed genes than anybody I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. And he's also one of the most like accepting of fucking everybody type people that I've ever met in my entire life, you know? And I've seen him get so much shit for people. And just like JonTron, this motherfucker got called a white supremacist and he's like Middle Eastern, you know?
Fucking like Iranian or some shit.
Yeah, he's just stupid, like, when it comes to certain things, you know? Why can't people just be dumb?
I just think the phrase supremacist these days is kind of lost all meaning. Because everyone's a something supremacist.
And it's bullshit
You're
because
the
real ones exist, though. That's the thing that they don't understand.
Yeah, they do.
The real ones exist.
They don't want to acknowledge them.
Not everyone is one of them. That's the problem. We're all being taught.
Dude, they want to paint that narrative that everyone is one of them.
Look how long it took.
You're selecting that or something like this fucking.
Look how long it took for people to get sick of Kanye West, dude. It took. He had to literally. He had to literally agree with Hitler before people were like, okay. It's like, dude, he had to agree with Hitler for people to be done with him? That's incredible.
I mean, to be fair, Hitler had some pretty good viewpoints.
The best one was his last one, in my opinion. His best idea was his last one.
The cyanide pill.
I was drinking Snapple, you ass.
The Snapple assassination. He was waiting for you to start drinking it.
No, Nikki's asking if we've seen Kanye West's new merch. I don't think I have.
I have not.
What is it?
I'm kind of afraid to.
Oh my god, it's a reassembled swastika.
Oh, good god.
Oh, are you talking about... Wait. Are you talking about it's a swastika inside of another thing?
Why?
Oh my god, yeah, no, I've seen that. That is so funny.
On behalf of all bipolar people, we're not all like this. Okay? We're not all like this. Kanye West.
Say what you will about Kanye, he provides some fucking entertainment.
You could say that about the most heinous people possible. Is that
I just give up.
Somewhat entertaining.
I just give up. No, they just like they're like the fucking biggest shitbags for entertainment though. Like they're always doing this stuff that makes us just like fucking why, man. I want to be impressed. I want to be happy with the outcomes of these things, not just like.
The point is that people watch this shit because it's entertaining in the sense of like, what are they going to do next? They've done that heinous shit. What are they going to do next?
Not me, dude.
Shit,
I'm like,
see, some new bullshit.
just like y'all when Trump was president. It's like for Europe, haha, what's this dumb motherfucker gonna do next?
What's this motherfucker doing?
I was sitting on the shore with a bucket of popcorn, just watching America burn, and it was lovely.
And I'm just sitting here like,
years of my life.
Me and Nikki are huddled up in our fucking apartment, just like, please God, don't let us die. You know,
I've said this before that the entire world just watches America and just watches what it's up to.
You are our favorite sitcom.
Yeah, you're literally our favorite sitcom.
All right, now that the disrespect for America has begun, I'm ready to end this conversation.
They called us their
retribution for the European and UK slander.
Oh yeah, that just falls out of your mouth as if it's casual. The UK and the European slander.
Well, I mean, it's all true, so.
Oh, we touched the great continent of America. So, be a country for more than 250 years, goddammit, then you can have a say.
I mean, we probably will.
Be a country, be an actual country.
Dominated so hard in the first 100 years, we could just rot for the next 1,000.
I mean, I wouldn't call constantly starting wars with everyone and failing a lot of them dominating, but okay.
Okay.
Well, you know what they say. You
Numbers don't lie.
Without tree.
Winning at what? That's my question.
We've been literally like this entire podcast is just the Europeans.
Well, at least three of us have never been part of the Soviet Union, but it's all good.
Well, it's the bigger dick foreign policy. Like,
were you guys part of the USSR ever?
I don't think we were.
I'm pretty sure Britain wasn't.
No, I know Britain wasn't. I 100% know that.
I'm good authority that we were never part of the USSR.
I just know before the formation of NATO, the Russians were like, we want everything east. Everything east of England we want.
Yeah, they had France and Germany and basically everything around us, but not us for some reason.
Well, probably because NATO started right at that time, like when they started getting way too much. Like when Germany happened, it was like, nope. Formation of NATO, and that has been the story ever since.
I don't know, Nino. I feel like you should be like somewhat offended by that. It's just like, why didn't you want us?
Yeah.
Why?
We want to be part of the USSR.
Why don't you
happened?
want us?
Why would we want to be part of the 40 million deaths?
Wasn't that Jacksepticeye quote's like, why would you let me alone?
Yeah. God, that would be
my own country, god damn it.
Well, they would be so fucked if Ukraine joined NATO and they were just like, nope, can't let it happen.
No,
But
well, at least our schools.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to hop off here.
I was gonna say we have gone slightly over.
We have gone, but we had substance to this podcast. There's important shit being discussed here.
Yeah,
you could cut the substance with a knife.
You could. So you got your full fucking dose here. But the important thing, an important lesson in all this is respect motherfuckers, unless they're douchebags, you know, and then still don't be racist. Just hate them individually.
Go respect people, unless they're from Brighton.
Unless they're from fucking Kent.
If you're from Kent, you can get fucked.
All right.
Also, if you're a Belgian.
Yeah.
We do not think of you as people.
Also, Ohio.
Let's take apart Belgium. Let's just get rid of it.
Yeah, fucking fake Dutch people. Same with the Frisian, too.
Okay, please, Skype.
This has turned into slag everyone off.
Exactly.
I actually have something I want to end on here.
So, alright, Cornwall too. Cornwall can get fucked.
Fred, please!
True, Cornwall can get fucked.
Anyways, what I'm going to say is that before we leave today is that, you know, New Year's just started, you know, we're trying to get a lot of shit working on here. Obviously, we missed the episode yesterday. There's some issues that have been going on for the last couple of weeks about us, you know, missing deadlines for stuff. We are going to try and fix that going into this year. We've been trying to work on a proper system in case Chad can't make it. I've assigned some streaming duties over to Nino since he offered to do so. And, you know, we'll try to keep things as consistent as we possibly can. And, you know, hopefully with our other side projects, we'll be able to, with our own main projects, actually, this is a side project we all are part of here. So we'll try to get our shit fixed there, and we'll keep... Fuck, I'm having a hard time speaking. Just know that we will try to be better in this new year here. We'll try to get better content out for you. And we will be implementing more compilations of streams. I was planning on doing one for the last year, like all the streams we did there, compiling all the best stuff, and we'll include like different clips from recent streams that come out after this one here, picking out some of the best moments, so we'll have more engagement with streams and whatnot, hopefully get more people in. So if it's something you're interested in, if it's something you want to get other people interested in, please by all means share this channel around here. It would greatly help us out in getting to where we want to be.
I won't bother doing a compilation of last year because I wasn't in most of them.
It's all worthless.
For me.
We all come here for Jake, and that's
don't even worry about it.
Not even for Chad.
Of the channel.
Yeah, he's the poster boy.
Chad
all right.
is just the set dressing.
Look, I'm just here to show off my cards. Okay, that's all I'm doing.
Chad is the silver platter of which the delicacy is a part.
Yeah. Cards.